Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in general terms, I mean, the biggest thing you can say about Brexit, from whatever aspect you're looking at it, is uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's uncertainty over the deal, whether it's, even no deal, the final terms, the short-term consequences, and the long-term implications.
Yeah.
Anything said today can turn out to be wrong with a high degree of probability, and even, dare I say, ridiculed, and the people who write it ridiculed with hindsight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, someone in the US said, "Oh, isn't it like Y2K?" to me, and I certainly don't think that it's a Y2K redux. But it might be seen that way if you live a long way outside of the EU, or even far enough from the UK in the regions that are affected.
Yeah. Or aren't interested.
Yeah, who aren't interested.
Yeah. Plenty of people who manage to avoid the topic.
Yeah, and if we bring that into financial services, I think, uncertainty is particularly prominent, given that there have been no formal discussions or negotiations.
No, if you look at the white papers from last week, they went into the discussions with 150-odd pages, and at least the word insurance was in there, and then they came out with 54 pages, and just about financial services is in there, and that is as an expression, and it's being parked. So the focus is very much on goods, but sort of the financial services, which is fairly important for this country, just neither side, EU or UK, seem to be terribly interested in addressing, which isn't very helpful for anyone. And presumably we're going to be waiting until sort of next round of negotiations in October, which for our side is very, very late. We need certainty before then in order to be able to continue properly.
And I think the vast majority of people in this country, and I mean this is a very glib statement, don't understand that the UK's economy is 80% services.
Yeah.
Which is huge, and financial services are a big part of that. And I think, if we sort of move into the questions that have been posed, I mean, the biggest concerns and considerations for insurers, one, must be the uncertainty of it. Yeah. So it's very difficult to plan. Yeah. And then if you sort of try to piece together, if you like, a hypothesis about what could happen on the basis of, let's say, a hard Brexit, which seems to be a more likely outcome at the moment.
Well, Jeremy Hunt yesterday said no deal was likely now.
Yeah, but is that, you don't know if that's political position.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go down the hard Brexit route, then you'd say for insurers it's loss of passporting, and for reinsurers it's loss of equivalence.
Yeah.
And further down on the list, you then have the question of legacies around claims. So you could have a situation where money is owed to an insurer in a contract cross-border. You honour the contract, but you break the law by paying.
Right, yeah.
Because you are prevented, because you will be prevented from servicing a contract from a third country, which if the UK isn't equivalent, will be lost.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and then the next key consideration is employees. So if you have employees in the UK who are servicing and working with clients in, for the sake of argument, let's call it the EU 27, that will become illegal under a hard Brexit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously if we turn that into Guy Carpenter, and specifically, you have brokers in London.
And you've also got the accountants. You've got everyone who's somehow related to it. Also the claims departments and everything.
And they're servicing EU 27 clients.
Right, yeah.
Today, which under a hard Brexit scenario becomes illegal.
Yeah,
okay.
Unless they negotiate something more helpful.
So, what you then have to do, and this leads nicely into your next question, is to essentially separate your organisation into UK and EU 27. So that means duplicating what you do and or transferring staff or looking for alternative strategies such as wholesaling, correspondence reinsurance.
Right. Yeah.
So you need to look at alternatives. So essentially, in a simple case of, let's say, a UK insurer that currently passports into the EU27, they would be required to establish a separate entity in the EU27, and all their EU27 business will then be done by that new subsidiary, and their UK business will be done in the UK by the existing UK subsidiary. They would certainly in time need to transfer the legacies, so the reserves that they have on claims from the EU27 today, to that new entity as well.
Right. Yeah.
This requires an awful lot of planning and preparation, expense in administrative costs, getting approvals from regulators, setting up the new company with capital, board structure, etc., etc.
Yeah, and also court if you're actually having to transfer. Part 7s are very, very pricey.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And they require, a lot of expertise from accountants and actuaries, as well as the agreement of the existing policyholders that you do it.
Yeah.
So what we've seen so far is a number of companies doing exactly that. So if I took RSA, for example, today, reporting its results, it has a UK company with branches in Europe, which also then, have business from other countries in which they're branched. So those branches will now become part of a Luxembourg subsidiary that's being established, and the approvals are being sought for that. So the EU27 business will then belong, if you like, to a RSA subsidiary in Luxembourg as opposed to a UK subsidiary of the group. Now, there is some... Now, if you talk about Lloyd's, so Lloyd's, and I don't actually have the numbers on me, but they can be looked up quite easily, obviously has business coming, into London from many, many different countries, including those of the EU27.
Yeah.
I think we had 8.
Yeah,
it was 8% or something.
8%
that was the EU.
Yeah. It wasn't huge, but it's nevertheless very significant.
Yeah.
Now, they have set up and approved in Brussels a new company, okay? The sole purpose will be basically to be, if you like, a gateway for EU27 business to come in there and be fully quota shared back to London. Now, there is a twist to that. Because although the Belgian regulator has approved it, EIOPA, which is the umbrella regulator, and other national regulators, and I'm thinking particularly of Germany, object to the 100% cession back to London.
Yeah.
Okay?
Which doesn't surprise me.
Which isn't signed, sealed and delivered, although Lloyd might put a particular spin on it. So the other consideration, as well as uncertainty with all of this, is the devil is in the detail.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, there are several other companies that are doing it. But mind you, there are others, from what we can't see, that they're doing very much. And I would say that is really the Asian reinsurers in particular that operate out of London and using London, if you like, as a platform to write business from the EU27 countries. Yeah. But they don't seem to have...
No. And there also seems to be, within Lloyd's, certainly... I don't know whether it's rumours, but it seems to be going around. You've got the difference between insurance and reinsurance, and that Lloyd's Brussels is only to be used for insurance, and then reinsurance would be done on WTO rules. So how that would work, which would sort of fit in with the Asian reinsurers not doing anything because all they're doing is reinsurance, which for their cedents, obviously, or for those reinsured in Europe, would make a big...
But you see, this is where we get into conjecture. Does WTO cover services?
Yeah.
I don't know. Does WTO overrule Solvency II equivalents? Don't know, but I don't think so. See, this is where I think you get all these rumours in the market, we will be okay because of X, Y, and Z. But no one's actually read any detail on it. No one's actually ever done any detailed analysis to say that X, Y, and Z will work.
Yeah, and the regulators haven't been very helpful either.
Yeah.
No.
So you don't get any of the FCA, so that's sort of more the servicing side. They haven't actually published anything, especially for